Okay, this don't go out to all the YouTube people. It goes out to just about YouTube haters.
A lot of talk about Anthony Powell 2 days after police say he killed a student and himself here on campus.
This one is going to be another hard one to do. I normally try to keep myself and my past out of my videos. I'm a very private person, but I was around when this happened. I tried to do YouTube once before, lasted a little bit before I needed to go away. My mother had just passed and I was doing YouTube to try to work through my grief. I was an angry young man who lost his mother to cancer and didn't give myself time to grieve properly. So after a while, I deleted all my previous content and stepped away. I feel I couldn't do this because I didn't like what I was doing and what I was becoming. I was in depression and pain and promised myself I would return to YouTube when my head was clear, but it took a while. But this isn't about me. This is about a young girl who was targeted and stalked by a man who showed all the signs of mental illness. I am going to keep this section of the video as brief as possible, but I have to mention it because it has a lot to do with the events leading up to the murder-suicide. I am going to be naming some YouTubers in this section. They were not involved with the crime itself, they had nothing to do with it, but they are important to the narrative. It is of my opinion that the actions of the people named did not drive Anthony Powell's actions, but it is important to understand the environment of his interactions on YouTube. I also want to say that this was in 2009. People change, content changes. What was done back then is in the past, and everyone should be judged by their actions in the present and not in the past. Back in the day, YouTube had a feature where you could upload a video in response to another video. With that came many different trolling content sent to others for fun, but others sparked debates. For instance, YouTubers VenomFangX and JesusFreak777 were two Christian YouTubers who were responded to by atheist YouTubers, but they also responded to atheist YouTubers as well. VenomFangX was one of the biggest Christian YouTubers of the time. He was popular for his attitude, he would be brash, and he didn't seem to have much of a filter when it came to his thoughts. He pretty much would attack anything unchristian in his eyes, which mostly was science. He was also a notorious false flagger and once had to apologize publicly to a YouTuber for false flagging him. Also, once he promised to donate to a sick kid's hospital and allegedly didn't, but I don't know if that is true. JesusFreak777 did a lot of videos in his car while he was driving. He also had problems with science and atheists. He could come off as a bit defensive as well if you criticized him, but fun fact, he's still around. On the other side of the coin, you have guys like the Amazing Atheist, Thunderfoot, and Richard the Dick Coughlin, who would respond to Christian YouTubers and were also responded to. The Amazing Atheist is still around and he once was a member of Channel Awesome as well as responding to Christian YouTubers. His content was more snarky and smartass. Thunderfoot is also still around on the platform, and if you want someone to explain complex ideas of science in a British accent, well, he's your guy. Thunderfoot also once debated the Westboro Baptist Church, and he was the one that VenomFangX had to apologize to. Richard Coughlin mostly did videos in a comedic style to discredit Christians, but his accounts kept getting flagged to nothing, so I'm not sure where to go to look for his content. These debates were sometimes unhealthy and allowed for one side to claim that they were better than the others. I'm not here to say which side is right, I'm just here to give the facts on the situation at the time. These debates would attract the attention of Anthony Powell, as well as a young Ben Fox under the name Nightwolf82.
2042 out here. It's all over. It is all over. The atheists have been defeated.
Anthony Powell idolized VenomFangX. He would start his YouTube channel, Tony48219, and he gathered a relative following. Nothing compared to his contemporaries, but he had enough of a following that he was getting views. He would vlog constantly. A lot of them are now gone the way of lost media, but I have found a small number of which I'm going to play for you to show you the content that he was making.
All right, this is to all my fellow Christians. Look, yo, we gotta come together, man. You know, these atheists is on that dumb shit again. I'm pretty sure that some of these ass atheists are gonna come on this video talking that bullshit. It's all over. It is all over. The atheists have been defeated. These have been caught on their bullshit. If VenomFangX is the truth, VenomFangX shut them down.
As you can tell, he was profane. He would tell his following to go harass other creators who were not Christian. He considered them evil. He also hated women, especially black women, which is why he targeted Asia McGowan in the comments of her videos. Asia McGowan had nothing to do with these debates. Though she was an atheist, she was a 20-year-old girl who aspired to be a dancer and actress. She went to Henry Ford Community College where she studied dance and acting. She actually was an extra in movies and took pictures with the stars of those movies. She would post lighthearted content. She wasn't interested in the debates going on if she was aware of them to begin with. She was an advocate for women's rights and was an atheist. Both things Anthony Powell hated. He would harass her in the comments of her videos. He would also use sock accounts to do the same, all in a vain attempt to get under her skin.
Mary, there's been a lot of talk about Anthony Powell 2 days after police say he killed a student and himself here on campus. The talk comes from Anthony Powell himself.
On April 6, 2009, Asia would upload her last video, a response to the hate that Powell was trying to push on her.
Hey, what's up, YouTube? Okay, this don't go out to all the YouTube people. It goes out to just about YouTube haters. When you hate, you feel as if you're here, and the other person is down here. And when you hate, this is what you do. Bringing the other person up, and you bring yourself down because you hating, and you making that person look famous, and you just bringing a lot of spark to them. Haters, find some constructive time and critique something that needs to be critiqued, not me, okay? And then I have this video, so I had to give a shout out to the haters. Now the haters, this is what you can do. The haters, just you on my screen. So yeah, people, find something better to do and stop getting on my page and write stupid messages, okay? It's ghetto, it's tacky, and you need to find some better time. So yes, have a lovely day, and for all the people that like my videos, I love you, and I'm gonna keep you guys posted.
Thinking there was more than one person sending her hate, she simply responded to all her haters. This would spill off the web, as they knew each other in real life. Both went to the same college, and they even shared a class together. I don't know for certain, and I am not going to assume that I know everything, but in my opinion, her hater video was what drove Anthony Powell off the deep end. She stood defiant in the face of hate, and he probably couldn't stand it. Days before the attack, Anthony Powell uploaded a video where he discussed having suicidal thoughts. This was a red flag, and he should have gotten the help he needed then, but his obvious cry for help fell on deaf ears. On April 10, 2009 at 11 a.m., Christian Plonka, a 12-year-old who was attending a program at the theater on campus, heard someone yell for help, but the group that he was with thought it might be a prank because it was in a theater. As someone who has done theater, shocking I know, but as someone who has done theater, I can attest that the first instinct is someone is acting and not in trouble. After 10 minutes, Plonka heard the first shot and he went to investigate. He saw from glass doors Asia running, attempting to get away and screaming. What he saw was Asia being shot in the back by Anthony Powell with a shotgun. He then saw her dragged back into the classroom. Then he heard one more shot, the one that killed her. At 12:30, police got a call that shots were fired and raced to the campus. When police got there, they heard another shot. This time, Powell pointed the gun at himself. No one else was in the classroom besides them when the shots went off. While there is a theory that they were paired together for a project, it is uncertain that is true. Why they both were there remains a mystery.
Recently, a YouTuber who went for a time by the username of Tony48219 firstly shot dead a young college girl and then killed himself.
Powell's family have said for years that they had tried to get him help, but nothing worked. They seemed genuinely upset and sad that it happened, sending sympathy to Asia's family. VenomFangX and JesusFreak777 would upload videos after the fact.
Hi there everyone out there on YouTube. This video is concerning Tony48219. This is a tragedy and nothing but a tragedy. This is horrific.
People have made the argument that we should have seen it coming, or that this is what fundamental Christians are like. This is what fundamental Christianity leads us to, this type of behavior. And I think that's very unfair. It would be very unfair if I said, hey, yep, that's what happens when you're an atheist.
So did Thunderfoot, and I reached out to him for his comment on it. He told me he doesn't remember much of the debates, but allowed me to use the video he made in response.
Tony suffered from clinical depression. Tony had many character attributes that would raise an eyebrow as being unnormal. He had several accounts suspended by YouTube, and he also posted on this channel on a semi-regular basis. However, while such events are always tragic for the individual, and especially those closely affected by them, such events raise points of wider concern for the conduct of the community. That is to say, our conduct.
VenomFangX has rebranded since then. He is no longer making videos on creationism, nor gets into heated discussions. Instead, he makes an animated series under the channel Sevenfold Films. Thunderfoot is still going strong, making videos on science. I will say this, Powell's actions were his own. No one on either side were to blame for what happened. When I decided to do true crime videos as a part of my channel, this was one of the first videos I thought of making. Not because I wanted to glorify the murderer of a talented person, but because I wanted people to remember her. I don't care for clout. Asia had the potential to make something out of herself and she was taken from us. I'm going to add to the beginning and the end of this video a number for a suicide hotline. If you're having suicidal thoughts, please reach out and get help.